Welcome to Heartbreak Chronicles. Roderick Collins's work boots made no sound on the marble floor of his own foyer. 20 years as a plumber had taught him how to move quietly, but today this silence felt wrong. The entire house was filled with a tension he couldn't name. He was supposed to be repairing a burst main pipe in the Westfield district, but the client had canceled at the last minute. It was now 2 in the afternoon. Miranda should be at the office handling tax returns. Sophia should be in math class at school. The house should be empty, but there were sounds coming from upstairs. Roderick stood quietly in the foyer, listening carefully. There was indeed movement upstairs, not the natural creaking of an old house, but the sounds of human activity, footsteps, and something else. His stomach began to tighten. Roderick quietly removed his work boots and walked toward the stairs in his socks. Each step was carefully calculated, avoiding the floorboards he knew would creak. 20 years of marriage had made him intimately familiar with every corner of this house. The sounds became clearer. They were coming from the master bedroom. Miranda's voice, but not in her usual tone. This voice was softer, more intimate, with a tenderness Roderick hadn't heard in a long time. "I miss you," she said. Roderick's heartbeat began to accelerate. "I miss you too," a man's voice replied. This was not Roderick's voice. Roderick stopped halfway up the stairs, gripping the banister, his knuckles white from the pressure. He knew he should turn around and leave immediately, or charge upstairs to face reality. But he did neither. Instead, he continued climbing, like an animal caught in headlights, unable to stop moving forward. "David won't be back today, will he?" the man asked. "No, he won't be back until 7 tonight," Miranda replied. "We have time." Roderick recognized that voice. Maximilian Harrison, one of Miranda's clients, who owned the largest real estate company in town. Roderick had done plumbing work on several of his properties. He remembered Maximilian's firm handshake, confident smile, and how he always looked people directly in the eye when speaking. Now he was in Roderick's bed, with Roderick's wife. When Roderick reached the second-floor landing, the master bedroom door was half open. He could see a corner of the bed, could see Miranda's favorite blue silk robe scattered on the floor. He should go in, should demand answers loudly, should show anger and the pain of betrayal. But Roderick Collins was not an impulsive man. 20 years of plumbing work had taught him patience and precision. When a pipe system has a problem, you can't just start smashing things frantically. You need to carefully inspect, find the root of the problem, then develop a systematic solution. He quietly retreated. In the garage, Roderick sat at his workbench, holding a cold beer. His hands were steady, but something deep inside was falling apart. He looked at the family photo hanging on the wall. Taken 3 years ago at Lake Tahoe, Sophia had just gotten her driver's license. Miranda was smiling happily, Roderick's arm around her waist. They looked like a happy family. Maybe it had already been an illusion then. Roderick's phone rang. Miranda's name appeared on the screen. "Hi, honey." Her voice sounded normal, with its usual warmth. "How was your day?" "Good," Roderick replied. "The Westfield job was canceled, so I came home early." There was a brief silence on the other end. "Oh, that's great. Are you home now?" "In the garage. I need to stay at the office a bit longer. A client is coming to look at tax documents. Dinner might be late." Roderick closed his eyes. "Which client?" "Maximilian Harrison. His company has some complex tax issues to handle." The lie came so naturally, so smoothly. Roderick wondered how long she had been practicing lying. "Okay," he said. "I'll start cooking dinner later." "Thank you, Roderick. You're such a good husband." After the call ended, Roderick continued sitting at his workbench, the beer slowly warming in his hand. He thought about the tone in Miranda's voice when she said those words, with an almost sympathetic tenderness, as if she were comforting someone she was about to hurt. Maybe she was already apologizing in her heart for his pain. Sophia's car pulled into the driveway at 4 o'clock. Roderick heard her footsteps entering the house, then the sound of rummaging for snacks in the kitchen. He took a deep breath, composed his expression, then walked into the house. "Hi, Dad." Sophia looked tired, carrying a backpack full of textbooks. "You're home really early today." "Work finished early," Roderick said. "How was school?" "The math test was a nightmare." Sophia opened the refrigerator and took out an apple. "Where's Mom?" "Still at the office. She'll be back late." Sophia nodded, looking unsurprised. "She's been working really hard lately." "Yes." Roderick watched his daughter's expression. "Does she work late often?" For the past few months, yes. Sophia bit into the apple. She says she has a lot of new clients. Roderick felt a tightness in his chest. Do you know what clients they are? Sophia shrugged. Not really sure. She mentioned some names, but I didn't pay particular attention. She paused. Why do you ask? Just curious. Roderick tried to make his tone sound natural. Your mom works very hard. I want to understand her work. Sophia gave him a strange look, but didn't pursue it further. She took her apple upstairs, leaving Roderick alone in the kitchen. At 7:30 in the evening, Miranda came home. She looked normal, clothes neat, makeup perfect, with that relaxed tiredness she usually had after work. Sorry, honey. She kissed Roderick's cheek. Maximilian's documents were more complicated than I expected. Roderick was stirring tomato sauce at the stove. It's fine. Dinner's just ready. Miranda walked up behind him, wrapping her arms around his waist. You're so good. Her touch made Roderick feel nauseous. Not because of her hands, but because he knew these hands had been caressing another man just hours ago. Miranda, he said without turning around. Let's talk. About what? Her voice had a hint of tension. About us. About our marriage. About the future. Miranda's hand slipped from his waist. Roderick, your tone sounds strange. Is something wrong? Roderick turned to face her. Miranda's eyes held a certain guarded light, but her expression was still full of concern. She was a very good actress. I'm just thinking about our relationship, Roderick said. Are we still happy? Of course we're happy, Miranda replied too quickly. Why do you ask? Because I feel there's some distance between us. You work late. We rarely really communicate. Miranda's expression softened. Oh, Roderick. I know I've been working a lot lately, but it's only temporary. Once I get these new clients sorted out, we'll have more time together. Is Maximilian Harrison an important client? Roderick asked. Miranda blinked. Yes, his company has many complex tax needs. Why specifically ask about him? Just curious. Roderick turned back to stirring the tomato sauce. Do you meet with him often? As work requires. Miranda's voice sounded careful. Roderick, are you worried about something specific? No. Roderick turned off the stove. I just want to understand your work better. Sophia came downstairs, interrupting their conversation. Smells good. Thank you, sweetheart, Roderick said. Go tell your mom to come eat dinner. The dinner conversation was normal. Miranda asked about Sophia's school life. Sophia complained about her history teacher. Roderick shared some interesting stories from work. But Roderick noticed Miranda checking her phone several times, always quickly, as if waiting for some important information. At 10 o'clock in the evening, Miranda said she wanted to go to bed early. She had a lot of work to do tomorrow. Roderick said he wanted to organize some tools in the garage and would come upstairs later. But he didn't go to the garage. Instead, he sat in the living room, turned off all the lights, and waited quietly. About 20 minutes later, he heard Miranda coming downstairs. She walked lightly, obviously not wanting to wake anyone. Roderick watched from the living room window as she walked to the garage, then drove away. The time was 10:25 in the evening. Roderick watched her taillights disappear at the end of the street, feeling a strange calm. Now he knew. This wasn't his imagination, not paranoid suspicion. This was reality. His wife was having an affair, and tonight, she was going to see that man again. The next morning, Roderick didn't go to work. He called his partner Jerry, saying he had a cold and needed to rest for a day. Then he drove to Miranda's accounting firm, parking at the coffee shop across the street. Miranda's car was in the parking lot. Roderick recognized her silver Honda Civic, parked in her usual spot. He sat in the coffee shop, ordered a black coffee, pretended to read the newspaper, but was actually observing Miranda's office building. At 11 in the morning, Maximilian Harrison's black Mercedes stopped in front of the office building. Roderick watched him walk into the building, feeling a cold anger surge in his chest. Maximilian was indeed a handsome man. Tall, broad shoulders, gray hair neatly combed. He wore an expensive suit and walked with confidence. Roderick could understand why Miranda would be attracted to him, but understanding didn't equal forgiveness. An hour later, Maximilian left the office building. He looked satisfied, with a smile on his face that made Roderick want to smash. Roderick followed him. Maximilian drove to an upscale restaurant downtown and had lunch with two other businessmen. Roderick parked across from the restaurant, observing from his car. Maximilian was active at the table, gesturing frequently, obviously telling some interesting story. After lunch, Maximilian returned to his office, a modern glass building with the Harrison real estate sign. Roderick noted the building's layout, the security camera positions, and Maximilian's reserved parking spot. He began formulating a plan. That evening, Roderick and Miranda sat on the sofa watching television, an old movie they had watched together many times before. Miranda curled up in his arms, just like they did in the early days of their marriage. "Roderick," she said softly, "I love you very much." "I love you too," he replied, but these words felt like ashes in his mouth. "We've had a lot of good times together, haven't we?" "Yes." Roderick felt her body relax in his arms. "We've had many good times. I want you to know that no matter what happens, you're very important to me." Roderick's heartbeat accelerated. This sounded like some kind of preview, some kind of preparation. "Why do you say that?" "No particular reason." Miranda looked up at him. "I just want to make sure you know." There was something in her eyes that Roderick couldn't read. Was it guilt? Or was she preparing for an impending farewell? "Miranda, if you have something you want to tell me, say it now." She stared into his eyes for a long time, seeming to have some kind of internal struggle. Finally, she said, "There's nothing particular. I just want you to know you're important to me." But her tone suggested there was more left unsaid. Over the next few days, Roderick began systematic investigation. He took several days off, telling Jerry he needed to handle some personal matters. Then he became a shadow. He followed Miranda, recording her movements. He discovered she would indeed go to the office, but often left at midday, driving to a residential area on the other side of the city. She always parked in front of the same apartment building, a high-end townhouse with perfect lawns and European-style architecture. Roderick checked public records and found the house belonged to Maximilian Harrison. Their dates were regular. Every Tuesday and Friday afternoon, Miranda would stay there for about 2 hours, sometimes longer. Roderick also discovered other details. Miranda began paying more attention to her appearance, bought new underwear, used new perfume. Her phone was always placed face down, and she often received text messages late at night. Most painfully, she became more tender toward Roderick, as if the affair had created some twisted gratitude toward their marriage. She made his favorite dinners, bought him new work clothes, even proactively suggested they should plan a family trip. This false tenderness made Roderick angrier than coldness would have. Roderick's turning point came from an unexpected discovery. While checking the family computer, he found Miranda had forgotten to log out of her email account. In her inbox, he found a series of emails from Maximilian. The first email was dated 6 months ago. "Miranda, yesterday's meeting was pleasant. I hope we can discuss more of your tax advice. Perhaps we could continue the conversation in a more relaxed environment." "Maximilian." Miranda's reply was cautious. "Maximilian, I'm happy to provide professional advice. We can arrange another meeting to discuss more details." "Miranda." But as time passed, the tone of the emails began to change. 3 months ago. "Miranda, I can't stop thinking about you. Yesterday afternoon at my house was perfect. I know this is complicated, but I think I've fallen in love with you." "Maximilian." "Maximilian, I feel the same emotions. But we must be careful. I need time to think about what this means for my family." "Miranda." 1 month ago. "Dear Miranda, I hate this sneaking around. I want to be with you, not just stolen hours. Have you considered the plan we discussed?" "Maximilian." "Maximilian, I'm considering it. But this isn't a simple decision. Roderick is a good man. Sophia needs stability. I need more time." "Miranda." The latest email was from yesterday. "Miranda, my patience is limited. I can't wait forever. Either you decide to leave Roderick, or we end this. I don't want to be someone's secret." "Maximilian." Roderick's hands trembled on the keyboard. He continued reading Miranda's reply. "Maximilian, I understand your feelings. I also hate this hiding. Give me 1 more month. I will make a decision. If I choose to leave Roderick, I want to ensure the process hurts Sophia as little as possible." "Miranda." After reading the emails, Roderick felt a strange calm. Now he knew the whole truth. This wasn't just a story of infidelity. Miranda was planning to leave him, leave their marriage, leave the life they had built. She was already considering a future with Maximilian. Roderick closed the computer and walked to the living room. He looked at the photos on the wall, at the record of their 20-year marriage. Wedding photos, photos from when Sophia was born, family vacation photos, birthday party photos. All these memories, all these years, apparently meant less to Miranda than a few months of romance with Maximilian Harrison. Roderick Collins was a patient man. He knew how to wait, how to plan, how to solve complex problems. Now he faced the most complex problem of his life, and he had already begun formulating a solution. Roderick spent an entire week gathering information. He photographed Miranda entering Maximilian's apartment, recorded the time she spent there, even managed to obtain Maximilian's phone number and some personal information. He discovered Maximilian had been divorced for 3 years and had no children. He owned a successful real estate company and had a good reputation in the local business community. He was a member of the golf club and frequently appeared at social events. Most importantly, Roderick discovered Maximilian had a weakness: his ex-wife Jessica. Through some investigation, Roderick learned that Maximilian and Jessica's divorce wasn't amicable. Jessica accused Maximilian of multiple infidelities during their marriage, and she received most of the assets as compensation. Jessica now lived in another city, but she remained active on social media, frequently posting updates about her new life. Roderick realized Jessica might be a key figure in his plan. He also made another discovery. Miranda had opened a new savings account in their bank accounts and had been secretly transferring funds. Not large amounts, but enough to accumulate a considerable escape fund. This confirmed Roderick's suspicions. Miranda wasn't just having an affair, she was preparing to leave. Friday evening, Roderick made a decision. He would end this passive observation and start taking action. Miranda said she was going out for drinks with friends. Roderick knew this was a lie. She was actually going to Maximilian's apartment. Have fun. Roderick kissed her cheek. Don't come back too late. I won't, Miranda replied. Around 11 or so. After she left, Roderick immediately began executing his plan. First, he called Jessica Harrison. Hello, Jessica. My name is Roderick Collins. I'd like to talk to you about your ex-husband, Maximilian. There was a long silence on the other end. Then Jessica said, Who? I'm Miranda Collins' husband. I believe your ex-husband is currently having an affair with my wife. Another silence. Then Jessica laughed, but there was no joy in the laughter. That bastard is at it again, she said. Tell me more. Roderick's conversation with Jessica lasted 2 hours. She confirmed Roderick's suspicions. Maximilian had a pattern. He specifically pursued married women, enjoying the thrill of destroying other people's marriages. He told me they were just friends, then work relationships, then emotional support, Jessica said. He's very good at making women feel special, feel understood. What did he do to my wife? Roderick asked. The same thing. He'll tell her that her husband doesn't understand her, that she deserves better. He'll say they have a special connection, that it's fate. Jessica paused. Then he'll start pressuring, demanding she choose. Choose what? Roderick asked. Him or her marriage. Maximilian doesn't like sharing. He wants complete control. Roderick felt anger surge in his chest. How did you find out? I hired a private investigator. Got photos, recordings, evidence. Used these in divorce court. Do you still have this evidence? Jessica laughed. Of course. I kept everything. Why? Because I think it's time Maximilian paid for his actions. Over the next few days, Roderick and Jessica formulated a detailed plan. Jessica would fly to their city. They would collect new evidence together, then simultaneously destroy Maximilian and Miranda's lives. I want him to know what it feels like to have his marriage destroyed, Jessica said. I want him to pay a real price for his actions. Roderick agreed. Their plan was simple but effective. First, they would collect concrete evidence of Maximilian and Miranda together. Not just photos, but recordings, possibly even video. Then, they would expose this evidence when Maximilian was most vulnerable. Roderick learned that Maximilian was bidding on a major commercial project, and the client had strict ethical standards for contractors. Finally, they would ensure Miranda knew she wasn't Maximilian's first target and wouldn't be his last. This wasn't just about revenge. This was about truth. Tuesday afternoon, Roderick followed Miranda to Maximilian's apartment. He parked across the street and took out his newly purchased high-power telescope. Through the living room window, he could see Miranda and Maximilian embracing. They looked intimate, relaxed, as if this were their daily life. Roderick began taking photos. His phone rang. A text from Sophia. Dad, I'm staying over at a friend's house. Mom said it's okay. Roderick looked at the time. 3 in the afternoon. Miranda told Sophia she could stay at a friend's house, which meant Miranda planned to spend tonight at Maximilian's. Roderick sent Jessica a text. Tonight. Proceed as planned. At 8 in the evening, Roderick stood in the shadows below Maximilian's apartment building. He wore dark clothes and carried a small recording device. Jessica was already in position, waiting at the building's back door. Their plan was simple. Roderick would go upstairs, knock on the door, confront Maximilian and Miranda face to face. Jessica would record everything from behind. Roderick took a deep breath and walked toward the elevator. His heart was racing, but his resolve was firm. 20 years of marriage were about to end, but not in the way Miranda expected. The elevator reached the 6th floor. Roderick walked to Maximilian's apartment, Unit 608. He could hear music and laughter from inside. He knocked on the door. The music stopped. Footsteps. Then the door opened. Maximilian stood in the doorway, wearing a silk robe, his hair disheveled. When he saw Roderick, his expression changed from confusion to fear. "Roderick," Maximilian said, "what are you doing here?" "I think we need to talk." Roderick's voice was calm, but there was something in his eyes that made Maximilian recoil. From deep in the apartment came Miranda's voice. "Maximilian, who's at the door?" Then Miranda appeared. She wore a black silk nightgown Roderick had never seen, her hair loose on her shoulders. When she saw her husband, her face went white. "Roderick," her voice was barely a whisper. "How did you?" "Why? I think the three of us need to have an honest conversation." Roderick pushed past the door and entered the apartment. Maximilian tried to block his path, but Roderick was stronger than he expected. 20 years of physical labor had made Roderick's body solid, and he easily pushed Maximilian aside. "Miranda, go home," Roderick said. "We have things to discuss." "Roderick, I can explain," Miranda began. "No explanation needed." Roderick's voice was cold. "I already know everything. I know about your relationship. I know about your plans. I know you've been transferring money from our accounts." Miranda's eyes filled with tears. "Roderick, please listen to me. I've heard enough." Roderick turned to Maximilian. "And you? I think you should know some things about yourself." Roderick took out his phone and played a recording. Jessica's voice came through clearly. "Maximilian Harrison has a pattern. He specifically pursues married women, enjoying the thrill of destroying other people's marriages. He tells every woman the same things, uses the same techniques. Miranda Collins is just his latest victim." Miranda looked at Maximilian, the love in her eyes beginning to turn to suspicion. "Maximilian, this isn't true, is it?" Maximilian's expression confirmed everything. He couldn't deny it, because it was the truth. "Miranda, listen to me," Maximilian began. "No." Miranda's voice became firm. "Tell me the truth. Am I your first?" Silence. "Answer me," Miranda shouted. "No," Maximilian finally admitted. "You're not the first." Miranda's world collapsed. She looked at Maximilian, then at Roderick, then back at Maximilian. "You made me destroy my marriage for what? To be another one of your conquests?" "Miranda, it's not like that. I really love you. You love me." Miranda's voice was full of anger and pain. "You love me, but you've loved other men's wives before." Roderick watched this unfold, feeling a complex satisfaction. His plan was working. Miranda was finally seeing Maximilian for what he really was. But this wasn't enough. Roderick took out a stack of photos from his pocket and placed them on the coffee table. "These are photos of you two over the past few months. I've been tracking you." Miranda looked at the photos, her face becoming even paler. "Roderick, you tracked us?" "I protected my family," Roderick replied. "I wanted to know what my wife was doing and who she was with." "This is invasion of privacy," Maximilian said. Roderick turned to him, his eyes flashing with dangerous light. "You destroyed my marriage, you made my daughter lose a complete family, and now you're worried about privacy?" "Roderick, please don't do this." Miranda began crying. "We can fix this. We can go to a counselor. We can repair our marriage." "Now you want to repair our marriage?" Roderick's voice was full of painful anger. "After you planned to leave me and start a new life with this man?" Miranda looked at him in shock. "How do you know?" "I read your emails," Roderick said. "All of them. I know about your plans. I know about the 1-month deadline you set for yourself." Maximilian realized the situation was out of control. "Roderick, I think we should calm down." "Calm?" Roderick laughed, but there was no joy in the laughter. "You think I should calmly accept you stealing my wife?" "I didn't steal anyone," Maximilian said. "Miranda made her own choice." "Yes, she made a choice." Roderick looked at Miranda. "But she made it based on your lies." Roderick took out another phone and played another recording. This was a conversation between Maximilian and another woman, obviously a victim before Miranda. I tell her that her husband doesn't understand her, that she deserves better. Women like to hear these things. Then I make them feel they're special to me, unique. Miranda listened to the recording, her face showing understanding and disgust. That's your voice, Maximilian. You're talking about me, aren't you? Maximilian couldn't deny it. Answer me. Miranda shouted. Yes, Maximilian finally admitted. But Miranda, you really are special to me. As special as the others? Miranda's voice was full of bitterness. Roderick watched them, feeling a cold satisfaction. His plan was executing perfectly. Miranda, he said, I think you now understand what kind of man Maximilian Harrison is. Miranda looked at Roderick, her eyes full of regret and despair. Roderick, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Sorry isn't enough, Roderick said. You destroyed our marriage, deceived me, planned to leave me and Sophia. Sorry can't change these facts. Then what do you want? Miranda asked. I want justice, Roderick said. I want both you and Maximilian to pay for your actions. Maximilian began to panic. Roderick, we can talk. Maybe we can find a solution. We've already found a solution, Roderick said. Tomorrow, these photos and recordings will be sent to Maximilian's business partners, his clients, and anyone who cares. You can't do this, Maximilian said. This will ruin my business. Just like you ruined my family, Roderick replied. Miranda realized the scope of Roderick's plan. Roderick, you planned all of this? I planned justice, Roderick said. I want both of you to understand the consequences of betrayal. What about Sophia? Miranda asked. What will she think? Sophia will know the truth, Roderick said. She'll know her mother chose a stranger over her family. Miranda began crying hysterically. Roderick, please don't do this. Please give us a chance. You had a chance, Roderick said. 20 years of chances. You chose to waste them. Roderick turned toward the door. I'm giving you 1 hour to pack your things and move out of my house. If you don't, I'll throw your belongings onto the street. Roderick, wait. Miranda chased after him. Our marriage can't end like this. Roderick stopped and turned to look at her. Our marriage ended the first time you walked into this apartment. I'm just making sure it ends the way I want it to. He left the apartment, leaving Miranda and Maximilian to face the consequences of their choices. As Roderick walked down the stairs, his phone rang. A text from Jessica. Recording complete. Evidence saved. In the parking lot, Roderick sat in his car and took several deep breaths. Phase 1 was complete. Miranda and Maximilian now both knew their secret was exposed and their relationship was built on lies. But this was just the beginning. Roderick drove home, and on the way he sent a text to his daughter. Sophia, I need you to come home. There's something important I need to tell you. Sophia's reply was quick. What's wrong? Is everything okay? We need to talk face to face, Roderick replied. Please come home now. When Sophia arrived home, Roderick was sitting on the living room sofa with a glass of whiskey in his hand. This was the first time Sophia had seen her father drinking, and she immediately realized something serious had happened. Dad, what's wrong? Sophia sat in the chair across from him. Roderick looked at his daughter. 17-year-old Sophia had Miranda's eyes, but her determined character was more like Roderick's. She had the right to know the truth, even if this truth would hurt her. Sophia, your mother and I are getting divorced, Roderick said. Sophia's expression changed from confusion to shock. What? What? Because your mother is having an affair, Roderick's voice was calm, but Sophia could feel the pain in his words. An affair? Sophia's voice was almost a whisper. With whom? Maximilian Harrison, one of your mother's clients. Sophia was silent for a long time, processing this information. Finally, she said, Are you sure? I have evidence, Roderick said. Photos, recordings, emails. This has been going on for months. Sophia began to cry. Not hysterical crying, but deep, heartbroken tears. What happened to our family? I don't know, Roderick answered honestly. But I know we'll get through this. You and I, we'll face it together. Where is Mom now? Sophia asked. At that man's apartment, Roderick said. I gave her an hour to pack her things. Sophia wiped away her tears. Can I talk to her? Of course. But Sophia, you need to be prepared that she might try to justify her actions. Sophia nodded. I want to hear her explanation. When Miranda came home, it was already 11 at night. Her eyes were red and swollen. Her makeup had run. She looked like someone who had just experienced an earthquake. Sophia was waiting for her in the living room. Mom. Sophia, sweetheart. Miranda tried to hug her daughter, but Sophia pulled back. Is it true? Sophia asked. About you and that man? Miranda's eyes filled with tears again. Sophia, things are complicated. No, they're not complicated. Sophia's voice was firm. Either you cheated or you didn't. It's a simple question. Miranda realized she couldn't lie to her daughter. Yes, it's true. Why? Sophia asked. Was Dad bad to you? Did he hurt you? No, your father is a good man, Miranda said. This isn't about him. This is about me. About you what? Sophia's voice began to rise. About you deciding to destroy our family? Sophia, please understand. I felt trapped, unhappy. Maximilian made me feel alive, feel understood. So you decided to deceive all of us. Sophia stood up. You decided to plan to leave us? Miranda looked at her daughter in shock. How do you know? Dad told me, Sophia said. He knows about your plans, knows you were saving money, knows you were preparing to leave us. Miranda sat on the sofa, covering her face with her hands. Sophia, I never wanted to leave you. But you wanted to leave Dad, Sophia said. That means you wanted to leave me too. No, sweetheart, it's not like that. Yes, it is. Sophia's voice was full of pain and anger. You chose a stranger over your family. You chose lies over truth. Miranda tried to approach her daughter, but Sophia kept backing away. Sophia, please give me a chance to explain. Explain what? Sophia said. Explain why you deceived us. Explain why you planned to leave us. Explain why you destroyed our family. Miranda had no answers. I thought I knew you, Sophia said. I thought you loved us. I do love you, Miranda said. That's why this is so hard. If you loved us, you wouldn't have done this. Sophia turned toward the stairs. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Sophia, wait. Miranda chased after her. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can repair our family. Sophia stopped on the stairs and turned to look at her mother. Mom, some things, once broken, can't be fixed. She went upstairs, leaving Miranda standing alone in the living room. Roderick came out of the kitchen. He had been listening to the mother-daughter conversation. He looked at his wife, or rather, soon-to-be ex-wife, standing in the middle of the living room, looking completely broken. She's right, Roderick said. Some things, once broken, can't be fixed. Miranda looked at him, her eyes full of despair. Roderick, can we talk? I think we've talked enough, Roderick said. You have an hour to pack your things. Can I stay a little longer? Miranda asked. I need to talk to Sophia. Sophia has already clearly expressed her feelings, Roderick said. She doesn't want to see you right now. She's my daughter, Miranda said. I have the right to talk to her. You have the right to talk to her as her mother, Roderick said. But you've lost the right as a member of this family. Miranda started to go upstairs, but Roderick stopped her. No, he said. Sophia doesn't want to see you. If you force her, I'll call the police. You would call the police on me? Miranda couldn't believe it. On your wife. On an intruder, Roderick corrected her. You're no longer part of this family. Miranda realized Roderick was serious. She went to the master bedroom and began packing her things. Roderick followed her, making sure she only took items that belonged to her. What are you going to do with those photos and recordings? Miranda asked while putting clothes in her suitcase. I'm going to make them public, Roderick said. Tomorrow morning, Maximilian's business partners, his clients, his friends, will all know what kind of man he is. This will ruin his business, Miranda said. Good, Roderick replied. Maybe next time he'll think twice before destroying someone's marriage. What about me? Miranda asked. Are you going to ruin my life too? Roderick looked at her, his eyes holding something she couldn't read. Miranda, you've already ruined your own life. I'm just making sure everyone knows it. What about my work? Miranda asked. My clients. I'm sure they'll be interested in your moral standards, Roderick said. Especially the family clients. Miranda stopped packing and turned to face Roderick. Are you really going to do this? Completely destroy me. I'm going to make you face consequences, Roderick said. For 20 years, I gave you a good life, a good family, a good future. You chose to throw it all away. Now you must face the consequences of your choices. I know I made a mistake, Miranda said. But that doesn't mean I should lose everything. You didn't make a mistake, Roderick said. You made choices. Multiple choices. Every day for months. Every time you went to see Maximilian, every time you lied to me, every time you planned to leave us. These were all choices. Miranda continued packing, tears streaming down her face. I still love you, Roderick. No, you don't, Roderick said. If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this. People can make mistakes and still love each other, Miranda said. This wasn't a mistake, Roderick said. This was betrayal. After Miranda finished packing, her suitcases and several bags were filled with her belongings. She looked like a refugee rather than someone leaving home. Can I kiss Sophia goodbye? Miranda asked. No, Roderick said. She doesn't want to see you. She's my daughter, Miranda repeated. She's our daughter, Roderick corrected her. And now she's choosing to stay with me. Miranda picked up her luggage and walked toward the door. At the door, she stopped and turned to look at Roderick. I want you to know that I never meant to hurt you or Sophia, Miranda said. But you did hurt us, Roderick said. Your intentions can't change the results. Miranda left. Roderick stood at the door, watching her put her luggage in the car, then drive away. He watched her taillights disappear at the end of the street, feeling a complex mix of emotions: relief, pain, anger, and something like satisfaction. The next morning, Roderick began executing phase 2 of his plan. He first contacted Maximilian's main business partners, the investors in Harrison Real Estate. Roderick sent a detailed email with summaries of photos and recordings, explaining Maximilian's pattern of behavior. Then he contacted the decision-makers for the commercial project Maximilian was bidding on. This project was worth millions of dollars, and for clients with ethical concerns, Maximilian's personal behavior would be an important consideration. Roderick also sent information to the local business association, the golf club Maximilian belonged to, and some of his personal friends. Finally, Roderick contacted a local tabloid. While this wasn't his first choice, he wanted to ensure the story got wide coverage. By noon, Roderick's phone began ringing. The first call was from Maximilian. Roderick, we need to talk. Maximilian's voice sounded panicked. We've already talked, Roderick said. I have nothing else to say to you. Please listen to me, Maximilian pleaded. You're ruining my life. Just like you ruined mine, Roderick replied. It's not the same, Maximilian said. You're attacking my business, my reputation. You attacked my family, Roderick said. I think that's more important. I can compensate you, Maximilian said. Financial compensation. Roderick laughed. You think my wife and family can be measured in money? No, but… Maximilian began. No buts, Roderick interrupted. You made choices, now you must face the consequences. I love Miranda, Maximilian said. We really love each other. You love the thrill of conquering a married woman, Roderick said. Miranda is just your latest victim. That's not true, Maximilian said. I want to build a real relationship with her. Well, now you have the chance, Roderick said. You're both free to be together without lies. But my business, Maximilian began. Will face consequences, Roderick said. Just like my marriage did. Roderick hung up. Over the next few days, Roderick's plan began to take effect. Maximilian's business partners demanded an emergency meeting to discuss the impact of his behavior on the company's reputation. He lost the bid for the major commercial project because the client didn't want to work with a contractor with ethical issues. The golf club suspended Maximilian's membership pending further investigation. Several friends stopped associating with him. The local tabloid published an article about real estate mogul's affair, and while they didn't use real names, locals could easily guess who it was. Miranda also began feeling the consequences. Some of her clients, especially those who valued family values, began questioning her moral standards. Some canceled their accounting service contracts with her. Roderick heard about these developments from friends and felt a cold satisfaction. A week later, Sophia came to the kitchen to find Roderick preparing breakfast. Dad, I want to talk to you, Sophia said. Of course, Roderick said. What about? About Mom. Sophia sat at the kitchen island. I know she did wrong, but she's still my mother. Roderick stopped what he was doing and turned to look at his daughter. Sophia, I understand how you feel. I don't want to lose her, Sophia said. I know I said I didn't want to talk to her anymore, but I think I need time. Time for what? Roderick asked. Time to forgive her, Sophia said. I don't mean I want to forgive her actions, but I want to forgive her as a person. Roderick sat across from Sophia. Sophia, you're an adult. You have the right to make your own decisions. But what about you? Sophia asked. Will you forgive her? Roderick thought for a long time. Sophia, some actions are unforgivable. Your mother didn't just deceive me. She also planned to leave us. She was prepared to destroy our family to pursue her desires. But she's still my mother, Sophia repeated. Yes, she is, Roderick said. And that's something she can never change. But she's no longer my wife and no longer part of this family. Sophia nodded. I think I need time to understand all this. Of course, Roderick said. But Sophia, no matter what you decide, I want you to know one thing. I'll always be here. No matter what happens, I won't leave you. Sophia hugged her father. I know, Dad. 2 weeks later, Roderick received a call from Miranda. Roderick, we need to talk. Miranda's voice sounded tired. About what? Roderick asked. About Sophia. She's not returning my calls or texts. I want to see her. Sophia is an adult, Roderick said. She can decide whether she wants to see you. Are you preventing her from seeing me? Miranda asked. I'm not preventing anyone from doing anything, Roderick said. I just told her the truth. So what happens now? Miranda asked. Are we getting divorced? Yes, Roderick said. I've already contacted a lawyer. I think we can settle this amicably, Miranda said. Amicably? Roderick laughed. Miranda, you deceived me, betrayed me, planned to leave me. Now you want to settle amicably? I want to avoid an ugly divorce, Miranda said. For Sophia's sake. For Sophia's sake, you should have thought about this months ago, Roderick said. Now it's too late. So what do you want? Miranda asked. I want the house. I want custody of Sophia. I want you to pay your fair share, Roderick said. I can't agree to give you everything, Miranda said. I have rights too. You have rights, Roderick agreed. But you also have consequences. I've already lost enough, Miranda said. Some of my clients, my reputation, my family. These are all results of your choices, Roderick said. I didn't force you to do anything. Maximilian has suffered consequences too, Miranda said. His business has been seriously affected. Good, Roderick said. Maybe now he'll think twice before pursuing someone else's wife. We're still together, Miranda said. Maximilian and I. Congratulations, Roderick said. You deserve each other. Roderick, I know you hate me, Miranda said. But I hope someday you can forgive me. Miranda, I don't hate you, Roderick said. Hate requires passion, and I have no passion left for you. I simply don't care about you anymore. This was more hurtful than anger. Miranda realized Roderick had completely emotionally detached from her. What about Sophia? Miranda asked. Will she forgive me? I don't know, Roderick answered honestly. But that's her decision, not mine. Can I see her? Miranda asked. You can ask her, Roderick said. But if she says no, you have to accept it. Miranda hung up. A month later, Maximilian's real estate company announced he would be taking a leave of absence. But in reality, he was forced to step back from the company's daily operations. His business partners worried that his personal scandal would affect the company's reputation. Miranda lost about a third of her clients, and her accounting firm's reputation was seriously damaged. She moved to the other side of town, trying to start over. Roderick got everything he wanted: the house, custody of Sophia, and a relatively favorable divorce settlement. His lawyer used evidence of Miranda's infidelity and her preparations to leave to gain the upper hand in negotiations. But most importantly, Roderick felt deep satisfaction. He hadn't passively accepted betrayal, but had actively sought justice. He had ensured that those who hurt him paid a price. Sophia eventually decided to re-establish contact with her mother, but this relationship was very different from before. They met every 2 weeks, usually in neutral places like restaurants or coffee shops. The conversations were stilted, full of unspoken resentment and disappointment. I need time to trust you, Sophia told Miranda during one meeting. You deceived all of us, and I don't know when I'll be able to trust you again. I understand, Miranda said. I'll wait. Wait for what? Sophia asked. Wait for your forgiveness, Miranda said. Mom, forgiveness isn't something you can wait for, Sophia said. It has to be earned. Then how do I earn it? Miranda asked. I don't know, Sophia answered honestly. Maybe you never can. This was the reality Miranda had to face. Her choices had not only destroyed her marriage, but had permanently changed her relationship with her daughter. 6 months later, Roderick sat in his backyard, drinking coffee after dinner. The summer evening was mild. Neighbors were active in their yards. Children played in the street. This was the first time he felt truly peaceful. Sophia came out of the house and sat in the chair next to him. Dad, I want to tell you something. What? Roderick asked. I'm proud of you, Sophia said, for the way you handled this whole situation. Why? Roderick asked. Because you didn't let them get away with it, Sophia said. You made sure they paid for their actions. Roderick looked at his daughter, feeling a complex emotion. Sophia, revenge isn't the best way to solve problems. But sometimes it's necessary, Sophia said. Sometimes people need to face the consequences of their choices. Yes, but I don't want you to think anger and revenge are the only ways to solve problems, Roderick said. I don't think that, Sophia said. But I think justice is important. You sought justice, not revenge. Roderick thought about it. Maybe Sophia was right. Maybe what he had done wasn't just revenge, but ensuring that those who hurt innocents got what they deserved. Do you still miss Mom? Roderick asked. I miss the mom I thought I had, Sophia said. But I don't miss the person who deceived us. That's a healthy way to think about it, Roderick said. We can't miss people who never really existed. Do you miss her? Sophia asked. Roderick thought for a long time. I miss the wife I thought I had. But I realized that person probably never really existed. So we were both deceived, Sophia said. Yes, but we survived, Roderick said. We're stronger than before. Sophia hugged her father. I love you, Dad. I love you too, Sophia, Roderick said. We'll always be together. A year later, Roderick encountered Maximilian in town. They were in a grocery store. Roderick was buying ingredients for dinner. Maximilian was buying alcohol. Their eyes met. Maximilian looked much older than before, his hair grayer, deep wrinkles on his face. Obviously, the past year had been hard on him. Roderick, Maximilian said, his voice low. Maximilian, Roderick replied. They stood there, two former enemies, now just two strangers in a grocery store. I want to apologize to you, Maximilian said. For what? Roderick asked. For what I did to your family, Maximilian said. I know it can't change anything, but I want you to know I'm sorry. Roderick looked at him for a long time. Maximilian, apologies can't change your actions. I know, Maximilian said, but I want you to know I paid a price for it. I know you paid a price, Roderick said. That was the point. Maximilian nodded. You got what you wanted. I got justice, Roderick corrected him. Miranda and I broke up, Maximilian said. A few months ago. I don't care, Roderick said. That's your problem. I want you to know I learned my lesson, Maximilian said. I'll never do anything like this again. Good, Roderick said. But that's not for me. That's for your future victims. Maximilian recoiled. I won't have any more victims. I hope not, Roderick said. For their sake, and for yours. Roderick picked up his shopping basket, preparing to leave. Roderick, Maximilian called out. Will you forgive me? Roderick turned to look at this man who had once destroyed his life. Maximilian, forgiveness isn't something I give you. It's something you give yourself. Roderick left the grocery store, leaving Maximilian standing there alone. Back home, Roderick began preparing dinner. Sophia came downstairs, looking excited. Dad, I have good news, Sophia said. What news? Roderick asked. I got accepted to State University, Sophia said. Full scholarship. Roderick hugged his daughter. Sophia, I'm proud of you. I couldn't have done it without your support, Sophia said. This year was hard, but you were always there. That's what fathers do, Roderick said. Not all fathers would, Sophia said. Some might have fallen apart, or become bitter, or given up. I would never give up on you, Roderick said. No matter what. I know, Sophia said. That's why I was able to get through it. They prepared dinner together, as they had often done over the past year. This had become their new tradition, a way to fill the void left by Miranda's departure. Dad, I want to ask you a question, Sophia said while cutting vegetables. What question? Roderick asked. Do you regret what you did to Mom and Maximilian? Sophia asked. Roderick thought for a long time. Sophia, I regret that I had to do those things. But I don't regret that I did them. What does that mean? Sophia asked. It means I wish things hadn't gotten to that point, Roderick said. I wish your mother hadn't deceived us. I wish I hadn't needed to seek justice. But since she did, I don't regret making sure she paid a price. Do you think she learned her lesson? Sophia asked. I don't know, Roderick said. But that's not my responsibility. My responsibility was to protect our family and our dignity. You did, Sophia said. You protected us. I did my best, Roderick said. After dinner, Roderick and Sophia sat in the living room watching television. It was a quiet evening, filled with the kind of peace they had learned to cherish over the past year. Roderick's phone rang. Miranda's name appeared on the screen. Are you going to answer? Sophia asked. Let's see what she wants, Roderick said, then answered the phone. Hi, Roderick. Miranda's voice sounded tired. Miranda, Roderick replied. I want to tell you something, Miranda said. Maximilian and I broke up. I know, Roderick said. He told me. You saw him? Miranda asked. Ran into him at the grocery store, Roderick said. We didn't talk much. I want you to know I've been in therapy, Miranda said. Trying to understand why I did those things. Good, Roderick said. Is it helping? A little, Miranda said. I'm starting to understand the harm my choices caused everyone. That's a start, Roderick said. Roderick, I want to apologize again for everything I did, Miranda said. I know apologies can't change anything, but I want you to know I'm truly sorry. I know you're sorry, Roderick said. But Miranda, apologies can't erase consequences. I know, Miranda said. I just hope that maybe someday we can be not just Sophia's parents, but at least not enemies. Roderick looked at Sophia, who was pretending to watch TV, but obviously listening to their conversation. Miranda, we're not enemies, Roderick said. We're Sophia's parents. That's our only connection now. Can I talk to her? Miranda asked. Roderick looked at Sophia, who shook her head. She doesn't want to talk tonight, Roderick said. But she'll call you next week. Okay, Miranda said. Thank you. Miranda, Roderick said. I want you to know something. What? Miranda asked. Sophia got accepted to State University, Roderick said. Full scholarship. There was a long silence on the other end. Then Miranda began crying. She did it, Miranda said. She really did it. Yes, she did, Roderick said. Despite the difficulties of this year. I'm proud of her, Miranda said. I hope she knows that. You can tell her, Roderick said. When she's ready to listen. Roderick, thank you, Miranda said. Thank you for taking care of her. That's my job, Roderick said. As her father. I know, Miranda said. But thank you. After the call ended, Roderick and Sophia sat in silence. She's proud of me, Sophia finally said. I know, Roderick said. No matter what happened, she loves you. But that doesn't change what she did, Sophia said. No, it doesn't, Roderick agreed. But it also doesn't change the fact that you're her daughter. I know, Sophia said. That's why it's so complicated. Yes, Roderick said. Life is complicated. A few months later, the day before Sophia was to leave for college, she asked for one final conversation with Roderick. Dad, I want you to know what this year has meant to me, Sophia said. Tell me, Roderick said. It taught me a lot about justice, consequences, and what family means, Sophia said. I learned that sometimes you have to fight for what you believe in. Sophia, I don't want you to think fighting is the only way to solve problems, Roderick said. I don't think that, Sophia said. But I think sometimes fighting is necessary. When someone hurts the people you love, you can't just stand there and do nothing. No, you can't, Roderick agreed. I also learned about the complexity of forgiveness, Sophia said. I thought forgiveness meant forgetting or excusing, but I now understand it's more complex. How so? Roderick asked. Forgiveness means releasing anger, but not forgetting the lesson, Sophia said. It means not letting pain define you, but also not pretending the pain didn't happen. Roderick was proud of his daughter's maturity. Sophia, you've grown into an amazing woman. That's because I had a good example, Sophia said. I did what I thought was necessary, Roderick said. I'm not sure it was always right. Dad, right and wrong aren't always black and white, Sophia said. Sometimes you have to make the best decision among imperfect choices. Yes, Roderick said. I think I made the best decision I could. You did, Sophia said. You protected our family. You ensured justice was served. You taught me what real love and loyalty mean. Sophia hugged her father. I love you, Dad. I love you too, Sophia, Roderick said. I'll miss you. I'll come back often, Sophia said. This is my home. Always, Roderick said. After Sophia left for college, Roderick found himself living alone. At first, the house felt too empty, too quiet. But as time passed, he began enjoying the solitude. He had time to reflect on the past year, on his choices and their consequences. He didn't regret what he had done. Miranda and Maximilian had both paid prices for their actions, as they should have. But he also realized that revenge, even justified revenge, came with a cost. He had lost his wife, but he realized the woman he had lost had never really existed. The Miranda he thought he knew was an illusion, masked by 20 years of lies and deception. He had gained justice, but he had also lost some trust in human nature. He was now more cautious, more suspicious, more self-protective. But he had also gained something. He had gained self-respect, a deeper connection with his daughter, a new understanding of his own strength. Most importantly, he had learned that sometimes you must fight for what you believe in. A year later, Roderick received a letter from Sophia. She was doing well in college, had made new friends, was hopeful about the future. But the last paragraph of the letter made Roderick smile. "Dad, I want you to know I often think about the lessons you taught me. Not just about justice and consequences, but about the importance of dignity, self-respect, and never giving up. I know this year was hard for both of us, but I also know it made us stronger. I'm proud to be your daughter, and I hope I can become a woman you're proud of. I love you, Dad." Roderick placed the letter on the kitchen table and walked to the backyard. The summer evening was mild. Neighbors were active in their yards. Children played in the street. He thought about 2 years ago, when he first discovered Miranda's betrayal, how he had sat in the same place, planning his revenge. Now, sitting in the same chair, he felt deep satisfaction. Not because he had hurt those who hurt him, but because he had protected what mattered most: his dignity, his self-respect, and his relationship with his daughter. Roderick Collins had learned an important lesson. Sometimes, to protect what you love, you must be willing to fight for it. Even if it means you must become tougher, colder, more ruthless than you imagined. Sometimes, the price of justice is worth paying. Sometimes, the cost of betrayal must be enforced. Roderick watched the sunset, knowing he had done the right thing. Regardless of the cost, he would do the same thing again. Because some things are more important than peace. Some things are more important than forgiveness. Some things are worth fighting for. Like dignity, like justice, like family. Roderick Collins had protected these things, and he was proud of it. That's the end of today's story. For more captivating tales, hit subscribe and never miss an episode.